Hello friends and welcome. Today I want to take you along for 24 hours with my newborn and show you all our daily routine. Oliver is currently 9 weeks old, and since the beginning he's been a really great sleeper, which has been such a blessing for us as new parents. Right now he's sleeping about 7 to 7.5 hours a night. He's getting so close to the full 8 hours, which we are really looking forward to. We'll talk more about sleep later, but basically every morning starts for us relatively the same way. So Christopher will take the first shift, he'll feed Oliver. We are exclusive breastfeeding, so he'll warm up a bottle and give it to him while I get everything ready to pump. This is just a system that we've settled into. It's worked really well because after 8 hours off from feeding, we joke that my breasts basically feel like bowling balls. We were just finding that it was really hard for Oliver to nurse, so giving Oliver a pumped bottle is really the best of both worlds. Christopher gets some bonding time with Oliver. He's able to help me out before he begins work, and then also too, it's given us the opportunity to build up a bit of a stash. And typically, I'm able to get about 10 to 12 ounces of milk in 10 minutes of pumping, which maybe I could do longer, but honestly that's plenty of milk for one session, so just leave it there. I'll just put the lids on those and store them in the fridge. Christopher is really the one who takes the lead on freezing milk, preparing bottles, all of that. Then I'll start getting ready for the day while Christopher gives Oliver his first diaper change, and then also they usually go on a walk together. Going for morning walks has been a part of Christopher's morning routine for years now, and so it's sweet that he's able to take Oliver along with him on that. But then while I have a bit of baby free time, I really try to make the most of it. So I'll usually begin by making the bed. This is one of those daily habits that I wasn't sure if I was going to carry into motherhood, but I really do just find that I feel more productive and more ready to start the day when I have a made bed. So it's one of those things that I just make time for. Then of course too, I'll do a little bit of personal hygiene, all of that, brush my teeth, put on deodorant, wash my face. Then I'll usually put on a bit of makeup. I've always had a pretty minimal makeup routine, but ever since becoming a mom, I've really simplified it even more. So probably 90% of days, I'll just put on a tinted moisturizer, use a bit of concealer under my eyes, do my eyebrows, and then put on a couple swipes of mascara and lip gloss. Then for my hair, in the past couple months, I've really been trying to embrace my natural waves so that I can not damage it by using heat, and it also saves time. Some days where I'm not washing my hair, I usually do that every 2 to 3 days. I'll just use some sea salt spray to refresh the curls. Then once I'm ready, I'll make myself coffee, and my morning cold brew has become more essential than ever since becoming a mom. So I'll enjoy that while I do a bit of tidying up around the house. And I'll be honest, I used to be a don't go to bed until the house is tidy type of person, but lately I just have not had the energy at night to really do the tidying up that I want to. So found that doing it in the morning when I'm refreshed from a good night's sleep and have a bit more energy, it's just been working better as a time to do that. Then right as I was finishing, Oliver woke up a bit early from his first nap with Christopher, and he woke up hungry, so I got all set up to feed him. And wow, let's talk breastfeeding. Actually, pause for a second. Let's take a moment just to appreciate how cute this little pumpkin is. Oliver really is the sweetest thing. But guys, I really think that breastfeeding was the thing that I most underestimated, just how difficult it was going to be, especially at first. I think in my head, I just assumed that babies came out of the womb kind of instinctively knowing how to latch, and that I too, as a first-time mom, would just be able to figure it out. But that really wasn't our experience, and we struggled a lot, especially in those first couple weeks. There were a lot of tears shed, and I really questioned whether or not I was going to be able to continue with it. But I am so glad and really proud of myself too that I persevered and stuck with it. If you're in the thick of it right now, I just want to say it gets better. Something that I found really helpful was we went for a handful of outpatient lactation consultant visits where they do a supervised feeding, and it really helped me just to get the hang of the latching technique, and they were able to give me some really helpful tips, encouragement, pieces of advice. So I definitely recommend that if you are struggling, and I know that's covered by most insurances as well. But yeah, we have come a long ways when it comes to breastfeeding and really gotten to a place where both of us really love and enjoy it. Oh, big stretches. Let's get you your vitamin D, shall we? Shall we get you your vitamin D? Come here. Oh. Time for some vitamin D. Oh, hi. Want to give mommy a little smile? You want to give mom a little smile? What do you think of your vitamin D? You like it? Silly. And then pretty much always after feeding, Oliver will have at least a wet, if not a dirty diaper. So did diaper change number 2 of the day, and then got set up for a bit of playtime. Now that our little guy is more alert, we'll usually play for 30 minutes to an hour before going down for a nap, and we'll try to do as much of that on our tummy as possible. You're so good at this, Oliver. You're so good. At this stage, babies really don't need a lot of toys, so really keep things ultra minimal. We'll just use some contrast cards, a wood play gym we'll pull out later, and a mirror, and he also loves his blanket as well. But really, babies are more interested in your face than anything, so we'll talk to him, make faces, sing. When Oliver starts getting a bit more tired, we'll usually just move tummy time to mom or dad's stomach, and he'll usually be able to go for a bit longer after that. And after playtime, he'll go down for a nap, and at this point he really doesn't have a consistent place that he naps throughout the house. Sometimes we'll do it in his crib, his bassinet. We also have the little snuggle me he'll sleep in sometimes, or we'll also do contact naps, have him in his carrier. We're really just trying to get him used to sleeping wherever, but this time I had some things I wanted to get done in the nursery, so I put him down in his crib. And something that we've recently been testing out is we used to not swaddle him up for naps, but especially when he's sleeping not on us, so not a contact nap of any sort. I've just been finding that he sleeps a lot better when swaddled. We love this Nara Baby swaddle, so been trying to bundle him up in that whenever I put him down for naps, and he seems to be sleeping a lot better and longer. So that gave me a little bit of time to do something that I've been wanting to do for days, if not weeks now, and that was to restock and just reorganize the dresser in the nursery. When I was first nesting, I had everything beautifully folded and had aspirations of keeping it that way, but I think I really quickly realized that that just really isn't super practical. And so what I wanted to do was, well, first I needed to swap out all of Oliver's newborn clothing, and wanted to put all of his 0 to 3 month clothing in, pack away the newborn stuff for potential future babies. But then also I wanted to transition all of our drawers to the no fold method. So still trying to keep things organized by category, but just really not worrying too much about making sure that everything is folded, because especially with baby clothing being as small as it is, honestly, there just really isn't a huge point in it. So I swapped everything out, and then also moved around a few things too, just to make this space make more sense for us. Whole point of organization is to make it easier to use. So now that we're kind of in the thick of it with actually using this space, I just wanted to optimize it a bit. And that probably took around an hour and a half to do, and I'm beginning to think that there might be some kind of internal mom sense that lets you know that you have exactly the length of your baby's nap in order to finish a project, because right as I was wrapping up, Oliver started waking up from his nap. So took him out of his swaddle and got ready to feed him again. You got the hiccups? You got the hiccups, I see? Yeah. This time I fed him in the nursery, and I just started tracking the feeding using the Nara Baby app. This thing really is amazing, guys. This is probably the #1 app or little baby recommendation that I'd want to share with you. It has a little timer, so it makes tracking how long you're breastfeeding really easy. In the early days too, we used it for tracking diaper changes, how much he was sleeping, when I needed to take my medications. It really does have it all. Especially when you're hardly sleeping in those first few weeks, it's really nice just to be able to have a way to easily track all of that. A few mom friends told me about it, and it's been so helpful. So I just fed him, and then we repeated that cycle of diaper change and some playtime. No stretches. Let's get you a new diaper, buddy. Let's get this guy off. What shall we have you wear today? How about this one? And another leg. Let's go do some playtime. So something that you may have already begun to notice is that throughout the day, we really don't stick to a strict schedule. That really just doesn't serve us. And so instead, what we like to do is to try to follow a general rhythm of feeding, having some wake time, then going down for a nap, and just repeating that cycle throughout the day. And at the moment, we're averaging somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half that Oliver likes to spend awake before he starts getting a bit fussy, and we'll try to put him down for a nap. So after he finishes eating, we'll spend that time either playing or just taking him along as we do things around the house. So after we spent a bit of time playing, I was getting hungry. I hadn't had much to eat. I think I'd only had a granola bar so far. So I set Oliver down in his bouncer, which this has been one of our most used items postpartum, while I made some breakfast. I've been going through something of a soft-boiled eggs kick recently. It's just a super nostalgic meal from my childhood. So I put some toast and eggs on, and then also cut up a nectarine to have with that. Then as I was waiting for the eggs to finish up, Oliver started his tired cry, so just got him out of his bouncer and soothed him for a few minutes, and then swaddled him and put him down for his next nap, which gave me the perfect opportunity to eat in peace for a few minutes. Also, can we just take a moment to appreciate just how great this swaddle is? Oliver goes from being a squirmy little thing as we're putting on this swaddle to, by the time that he's fully in it, being a peacefully sleeping baby. I mean, how sweet is this? He always sleeps with one hand out. We call it his emotional support hand. And after I finished eating, I knew that I had a pretty good chunk of time to get whatever I needed to done around the house. So I got out the laundry that I'd done the previous day and folded that. I think it was 2 or 3 loads total that I ended up folding, something Christopher often helps me out with, but he's been pretty busy with work lately, so was really happy to be able to help him out with that. And then after that, I also got some computer work done, responded to some emails, did a bit of editing, and honestly, it was a really productive time. Oliver really peacefully slept for about 2 hours, at which point I finished what I needed to do and decided to wake him up to feed him again. Also, I should note, we do have him nap in the Snuggle Me, but only when we're around to supervise it. I think they say that you're not supposed to have a baby nap in the Snuggle Me, but realistically, I don't know what else you would use it for besides that. So as long as we're supervising, we're totally fine with it. But then I tracked my next feeding and was able to actually get a bit of work done on my phone while Oliver was eating, so that was great. And then when we finished, Christopher took a bit of a late lunch break, so he was able to change Oliver and then also take him for a bit so that I could just do a few other things that it's just harder to bring him around for. So I spent a few minutes watering my plants. I had a package that I wanted to open and then got ready to head out the door because we were in need of some groceries. When we got to Target, I just popped Oliver into the little Key-Fit caddy that we got. This really has been a newborn staple for us. It just makes taking him out really easy and convenient. Of course, we're sure to make sure that he isn't in it for longer than the 2 hours that he's allowed to be in his car seat, but really does make life easy for us. So I just picked up the groceries that we needed, and then when I got home, I set him in his bouncer again to unload it. But it was really nice to be able to go out with him, and that really is something we've tried to focus on, is just taking small excursions either together as a family or just me taking Oliver out so that we aren't in the house 24/7. Then as I was finishing up with unloading the groceries, Oliver started telling me that it was time to feed him again, and so got all set up to do that. And this time, instead of working, I ended up doing a bit of reading. While I fed him, I just started the book Lessons in Chemistry, which has been really fun so far. And at the beginning of our breastfeeding journey, I most certainly would not have been able to read while feeding Oliver. I did a lot of watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts, as well as just watching him at the very beginning. But as we've really settled into breastfeeding, I have been able to start reading, which has been really fun and just makes breastfeeding more relaxing for me. It helps me to look forward to it more. And after we finished, Oliver was in a really smiley mood, so we just spent some time hanging out before getting ready to go for a walk. I got cleared to start exercising again a couple weeks ago, so almost every day now I'll either do some sort of home workout or go for a walk with Oliver, though we've been walking since the very beginning. But this day the weather was really beautiful out, so decided to strap him into the carrier and take him out for a little walk. Really just trying to make the most of all the spring days that we have left at this point, because I know that summer is coming and it's going to be a lot harder to have him out in the middle of the summer. So we went and enjoyed a walk, and then when we got back, Oliver was fast asleep, so just decided to finish his nap as a contact nap. So brought him out to the back porch. I got a little bowl full of cherries, some water, and my book, and just hung out there until he woke up and was ready to eat again. I know you're hungry. As you can see, he was a little bit fussy when we first started. Usually when he wakes up from a nap, he wakes up hungry, but he does really quickly settle into the feeding, which is great. But then after we finished up, we did another diaper change and then started kind of settling in for the evening. So changed Oliver into some pajamas. Went with these ones with a little bear print that are so adorable. It's got little bears on the toes, which just kept me. And we set Oliver down in the bouncer again, and then Christopher and I started whipping up some dinner. On this night, we made some Mediterranean-inspired burger bowls, which are super easy. It's one of our favorite quick recipes, but they really are so delicious and quite healthy for you as well. Then we sat down for a few minutes to eat dinner together, catch up on the day before cleaning up. And as we get closer to bedtime, Oliver will sometimes have one final feeding, other times two. On this night, he let us know he was hungry a bit early. We were still cleaning up from dinner, so I gave him his 7th feeding while Christopher finished up with the dishes. And then we played with him for a bit, popped on a show, and then I fed him one last time. This is really the only feeding of the day that's more or less scheduled. I always try to feed Oliver once before bed, usually between 10:30 and 11 p.m. so that we can be in bed ready to sleep at 11:30. So did that, and then Christopher gave him his last diaper change, swaddled him, and we put him in his bassinet. Then we spent just a couple final minutes getting ready ourselves before turning out the lights, ready to wake up and do it all over again the next day. So I really hope that you enjoyed spending the day with our little family. As always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.